The escalating crisis in England and Wales, men's prisons has reached a critical juncture, with just 83 spaces remaining around the inmate population, climbing to nearly 89,000. The system is stretched beyond its limits. This surge, exacerbated by a noticeable spike following the recent bank holiday, has pushed the Ministry of Justice, MOJ, to implement severe measures, including the early release of certain offenders and the temporary use of police cells as makeshift accommodations. Do hit the like and subscribe button and join our fast-growing community. The overcrowding crisis has led to increasingly dire conditions within the prisons. Reports of violence, self-harm, and deteriorating living conditions are alarmingly high, prompting concerns that the entire system may be on the verge of collapse. The increased strain is further compounded by inadequate facilities and resources, contributing to a vicious cycle of instability and unrest. In response, the MOJ has reduced the time served for specific nonviolent offenders from 50% to 40%. This decision, while aimed at alleviating immediate pressure, has sparked controversy and debate. Critics argue that these emergency measures may not address the root causes of the crisis and could potentially undermine public safety and rehabilitation efforts. The government's plan to create an additional 500 prison spaces in the coming weeks is seen as a temporary fix rather than a long-term solution. The effectiveness of this strategy is questioned, especially given the systemic issues of overcrowding and rising violence that have plagued the prison system for years. There are calls for more comprehensive reforms to address these deep-seated problems and ensure sustainable improvements. Justice Secretary Shabana Mahmood's announcement acknowledges these systemic issues, but also raises concerns about the potential implications of early releases. The MOJ's decision to exclude serious offenders from early release measures aims to strike a balance between managing overcrowding and maintaining public safety. However, the broader implications of these decisions on the criminal justice system and community safety remain a topic of intense scrutiny. The coming weeks will be crucial in assessing the impact of these emergency measures and determining whether they can effectively manage the overcrowding crisis or if more significant and long-term reforms will be necessary to ensure the stability and effectiveness of the prison system. Sir Keir Starmer's recent visit to Berlin and his discussions with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz represent a significant moment in the UK's post-Brexit relationship with the European Union. Starmer's call for a reset with the EU signals a desire for enhanced cooperation while respecting the key principles of Brexit, such as the UK's departure from the single market and customs union. This nuanced approach aims to rebuild trust and foster collaboration without revisiting contentious debates about reversing Brexit. The proposed new bilateral treaty between the UK and Germany seeks to address a range of issues, including market access, clean energy, trade, and illegal migration. Although details are still emerging, the treaty is described as a once-in-a-generation opportunity to advance bilateral relations. Both leaders are committed to finalizing the agreement by the end of the year, emphasizing the urgency of strengthening ties amid a rapidly shifting global landscape. A key treaty element is a joint action plan to tackle illegal migration, focusing on enhanced data and intelligence sharing. This plan is crucial as both the UK and Germany face increasing migration challenges, particularly across the English Channel. Starmer's emphasis on combating human trafficking reflects a strong commitment to addressing one of the most pressing and contentious issues facing both nations. The discussion of a new defense agreement further highlights the robust military cooperation between the UK and Germany, especially in light of the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Both nations have played a critical role in supporting Ukraine, and the reaffirmation of this commitment underscores continued alignment on security and defense matters. However, the lack of specifics about the new agreement leaves room for speculation about how this partnership might evolve. On Middle East issues, the alignment between the UK and Germany on Israel's right to self-defense, humanitarian access in Gaza, and the pursuit of a political solution underscores broader geopolitical coordination. This unity is essential as Europe navigates complex and volatile international situations. Starmer's reluctance to commit to a youth mobility scheme, which would simplify visa access for young people between the UK and Germany, may be seen as a missed opportunity, by those hoping for tangible benefits from closer UK-EU relations. His stance reflects a careful balancing act, seeking to improve ties with the EU while avoiding domestic backlash or renegotiating the core elements of Brexit. Overall, Starmer's visit and the proposed treaty represent a strategic effort to reset and redefine the UK's relationship with Germany and the EU. The direction is clear: to enhance collaboration across various issues while operating within the framework of the UK's post-Brexit reality. The success of this approach will depend on the effective implementation of these plans and whether they can deliver meaningful benefits without reigniting Brexit-related tensions. The tragic house fire in Bradford has sent shockwaves through the community, with the deaths of Bryony Gawith and her three young children deeply affecting those who knew them. Mohammed Shabir and Callum Sunderland, now facing serious charges, are at the center of a case that has not only drawn significant public attention, but also raised pressing questions about safety and justice. The fire has left an irreplaceable void in the lives of the family and the broader community. A heartfelt family statement has described Bryony Gawith as the life and soul of the party, and her children Dynasty, Oscar, and Aubrey were remembered with affection and warmth. Their loss is profoundly felt, with many in the community mourning the tragic end of a beloved family. The ongoing investigation involves four other individuals, including a 39-year-old man who remains in critical condition. His arrest and hospitalization at the scene suggest a chaotic and troubling situation, with authorities working diligently to piece together the events leading up to the fire. Shabir and Sunderland's court appearances, where they have been remanded into custody without entering pleas, mark the beginning of a complex legal process. Their presence in court, dressed in casual attire and surrounded by officers, has intensified public scrutiny and sympathy for the grieving family. Community leaders and residents are calling for support and solidarity during this difficult time. The case underscores the urgent need for answers and highlights the importance of community cohesion and support in the aftermath of such a devastating event. As the investigation continues and legal proceedings advance, the focus remains on honoring the memory of Bryony Gawith and her children and ensuring that justice is served for their untimely and tragic deaths. The Bradford tragedy has also prompted discussions about fire safety and community support, with many calling for increased measures to prevent such incidents and better support for families affected by similar crises. The case has become a rallying point for those advocating for more robust safety regulations and community resources to address and mitigate the impact of such tragedies.